Hello and welcome back, folks. HeirofCarthage here, and we're going to be continuing Patchy the Demon Prince's campaign. And you've missed a few turns since the last time. Basically tried to save you all some low action points as I swung through here. I went ahead and backed off Altdorf for a few minutes. Hopefully that doesn't end up being a mistake, like that someone comes in and conquers it before we do. I don't think they will. And it's presented some interesting opportunities. One, I was able to do a little bit of sacking. Like I sacked Flensburg here, got some money. I've been using it to build some buildings. And I've still got Patchette swinging across the north back over here to face the Druki, who are definitely bearing down on our flank. I don't know whether they'll stay here this time because Valkia is also nearby with an attack order on them. But yeah, the Folly of Malefics is a little bit weak. I've spent a bunch of money getting it fortified, and it's not finished yet. So that could end up costing me some money, unfortunately. But they can't be everywhere at once. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to use my money to build garrison and a little bit for income there, and just make these areas more difficult for the Druki to attack. You can see some of these places are starting to get some pretty solid garrisons. I do think in campaigns moving forward, I'm going to look into garrison improvement mods, and ones that doesn't improve it just for me, but also improves it for the AI, which would hopefully make it a little more interesting in the sense that we get, more big battles and not necessarily as many battles just up against like little rinky-dink garrisons. Now, in the meantime, we've got some options here for Patchy, and one of the things I had mentioned to you all is potential in the last episode was taking on King Lewin, since we got to stomp the Emperor already, and look who came and showed up in Kemperbad, if it isn't King Lewin. And he's brought a bunch of foot squires. This army is surprisingly low in peasants, though they are all peasants to Patchy, because he has now ascended to being a prince, and so he's going to go show these guys what it really means to be a peasant. Should be fun. We do have some seduce unit cash here. We can take away one of their trebuchets. That's ridiculous and hilarious. Yeah, everything else is way too expensive for us to pull away, essentially, even a foot squire. The only other thing we can pull away is this archer, but I think I'm going to pull away one of their trebuchets here. And, oh, I didn't leave the cash. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Not going to make any difference anyway. I will see you all on the battlefield with this one as Patchy gets to take on Lewin. So King Lewin sits outside Kemperbad and thinks that he's really some tough stuff here up on Beaky with his Grail Knights. And look at this, he's even got an army that's not composed, well, I mean, I say it's not composed entirely of peasants, but I mean, look at the haircut on these guys. I mean, that is a peasant haircut if I've ever seen it. Looks like a bullet went flying down the middle of their hair, and then at the side got hit with a weed eater. So it's pretty appropriate for a peasant nonetheless. I'm going to come screeching in with the Doom Knights here and just collapse into these trebuchets, and then with Patchy, I'm going to go straight after Lewin. He will come under a lot of archer fire and other things, but honestly, his armor is just absolutely extreme, and I don't expect that I'm going to take too much damage in the process. My Doom Knights are shutting down the trebuchets, though they'll have to kind of, retreat and fall back. I summoned in some Furies that I'm going to dive down on these peasant archers with their fire arrows over here and get rid of some of them, so should see them get into some real trouble here as they're going to be covered in disgusting Furies, which is great for me, not so great for the peasant archers. Look at this, Lewin just keeps running away. He does not want any part of this Patchy duel. The Patchy's going to catch him regardless and really start laying into him. And this is a fight that Lewin really has no chance of winning, despite the fact that he's probably healing. You're going to see him cut and run a whole bunch, which is very, very brave of him. A good way to set the example as the king is to turn and run in the face of a mortal enemy. So yeah, well done on him. We got the weird spawn leading the way, of course, for our Cornate infantry. And they're going to be coming up. The map has several choke points. This is the middle choke point, and then I'm also attacking the left-hand choke point. The Mirror Guard have already engaged in combat. Their heavy armor is going to avail them well against the Wardens of Lamont. This is the Holy Wardens of La Maisontal. Sorry, I was about to get their name wrong. But I guess that would have been an insult they deserved. Here comes some foot squires to join in as well. Not exactly who I want the Mirror Guard fighting, so I do have reinforcements on the way, though. So that will be fine one way or the other. Up the middle, we have an engagement, the weird spawn, helping out over here to kind of, I lost track of the weird spawn. They're somewhere up in here, I thought. Oh, they haven't engaged yet. So I've got all my other troops up here engaged against the Grail Knights who are trying to hold the line. Meanwhile, Patchy continues to catch and destroy Louen, and Louen continues to cut and run rather than face his enemies in mortal combat. You can see over here the Holy Wardens now facing Forsaken, which is definitely not going to go well for them. So I've now got Poison into the middle of this fight. Between the Mirror Guard and the Poison, and we've got Khorne's Baked Goods over here, which of course is actually the Hellforged host, and they're going to be really ripping through any infantry they come upon here. So they're going to be really well suited for this fight. The Grail Knights is not exactly who they want to fight, and then Lewin's going to come give them some extra attention, but I do have some halberds nearby, so Louen just made a big mistake. He's now caught by Patchy and stuck in a group of halberds. So again, that one is not going to end well. The middle collapses, so the enemy not able to hold out. Even my just Marauders here that we've kept into late game are a pretty dangerous unit. They don't have a lot of survivability, but they still punch really hard, even though it's not specifically an armor-piercing punch. And I have been kind of sitting on my cavalry. I'm waiting to pull them in late, and I'm actually going to go ahead and start doing that. So I've got my cavalry running out of the woods, and I do have some hounds that are going to move to reinforce from the woods back here as well. So we should see the hounds. Yep, they're exiting the woods. So now the forces of Bretonnia are really put on the run. Louen continues to run and be chased by Patchy, who had a clean miss right there. But yeah, you can see some pretty chicken behavior there. I got an army ability here, which is going to be a giant sword of Cain coming, or of Khorne, smashing into all the Grail Knights. So it caused some pretty extreme damage actually, which was great. And I've got my infantry along with Killscribe trying to cut his way through these knights. You can see Killscribe not scared at all, right up here in the middle of this formation, and using his extreme weaponry. Look at that. He just dropped like 4 or 5 Grail Knights in a single hit. He has really nice splash damage. He's not particularly anti-large, but between his splash damage and just total damage, he is going to be doing ridiculous pain to any unit that he fights. I've got the Doom Knights rolling back over to help shut down these Horse Archers who have been annoying me the entire battle. Summoned more Furies, and I'll be bringing them in to help rout any infantry that are nearby. And then my cavalry has scooted up. I'm going to have to give them engagement orders, but it's really all starting to fall apart for Bretonnia. They're outflanked. Their leader is about to die, so yeah, here goes Louen. Again, rather than fight, he took off running and is going to flee the battlefield in shame with his pants soiled at the sight of Patchy the Demon Prince, and that is exactly what's going to happen there. So King of Nothing, really, for Louen. The King of Cowards, I guess, will be his new title, and the army of Bretonnia is going to be utterly lost here. And I've brought in my Skull Crushers and Blood Crushers to wipe up some of the infantry. Those Juggernaut mounts are so cool looking there with all the steam and sparks and stuff coming out. But yeah, these Foot Squires, not exactly going to be able to flee. Not a great day for Bretonnia on the battlefield. I'll see you all back on the campaign map. Alright, well, Patchy was accomplishing a few things here. One, winning an epic victory against Louen, who is obviously a false king, and the true prince is Patchy. And then Killscribe now has a new faction to get on the kill board here, so we gave them some success there, and as far as helping Bretonnia lose 1,604 men immediately in the battle, so that was also entertaining. Have to say I definitely enjoyed that one. We've almost got Appius back with us, and I appreciate Killscribe, by the way. So the Empire lost 636 whenever we got Franz. That number will soon go up again, but there we go. We quickly put Louen on the board, and that ought to put him somewhere around like 9th place, I think, depending on what else happens in this one. I am going to occupy this settlement, just so I have a place to replenish at the moment. So I'm going to occupy it, replenish a little bit. I think, yeah, is it Ruined Town? Yeah, Minor Settlement. I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to occupy it mostly just to be able to replenish during this turn, so I don't have to sit around as long, because if you raise it or sack it, it is nice to get the cash, but then you have to turn around and replenish all your troops, and there's quite a few enemy armies afoot. Also the Skaven, remember, they went full Vermintide on us, so they will be lashing out from wherever they have spawned, and we could possibly run into some Vermintide, though it's not exactly the mission that we had in this campaign. In fact, it looks like Killscribe picks up even more skill points here. He's going to get even more obscene weapon damage. Might be able to get him all the way up over 700, which would be really spectacular. I would definitely be here for that. Anyway, I'm also building some of these buildings back across my territory just to have access to more different, or more variety of units in order to recruit. And then, of course, building up settlements and defenses just to make it harder for anybody to try and come wiping through our territory. We'll get to a few more of your comments here. Francesco says, yes, just what I need after a busy day. Thanks, Air, as always, for the awesome content. Well, I am glad that it hit you at a good time there. Look at this. Malekith beat us to our settlement here. This is the folly of Malefic's. I should have canceled those buildings and taken the money back, but I didn't. But he took a lot of damage in that fight. That was not a worthwhile fight for him, and then he just raised it and walked away, so that was a complete waste. And he left himself wide open to getting shellacked by Valkia on the next turn, assuming that she maintains that attack on Malekith. So yeah, that was a big mistake on the part of the AI. It's stuff like that they need to correct. It's fine for the AI to come attacking me while I don't have any defense. That actually kind of makes sense right there. But you can see there that the AI still can't really decide its way out of a paper bag, which is really bad in that case. Like, if they were going to attack that settlement, they should have kept it, right? But they also should have been aware. Yep, see there Valkia goes. She just whacked Malekith. They should have been aware of the presence. Most likely, it's possible that they didn't have line of sight to Valkia's forces there. But if that's the case, then that makes sense. But in any case, that was a huge mistake by Malekith's forces. So I did lose some money here, but it did lure in Malekith and get him killed, which is fine with me. No tears shed. In that case, I'm going to move Patchette back up towards Blackrock. I do have considerably better recruiting available to me now at Blackrock, and in a couple of turns we could have Seekers thrown into that as well, which would be really nice indeed. I'm going to go ahead and recruit a couple of units. We've got a lot of devoted Marauders, and we really need some heavier hitting power in this army. I don't have a ton of money, so I'm not going to... Oh, dang, man, it costs almost nothing to recruit these units. It's fantastic. I would have thought it would have cost a lot more to be recruiting Exalted Demonettes. So I'm going to punt one more unit of these Marauders and grab... Well, actually, infantry-wise... So I was going to mix Nurgle and Slaanesh in this army. I need to get rid of these guys. They don't make any sense. And then I'd like to have 4 Exalted Demonettes, which means we could get rid of the standard Demonette here, just to kind of... Yeah, like that. So that'll give me 4 Exalted Demonettes. And then I want to put some Nurgle infantry into the middle of this army, just to have like a tanky... Like, so I was thinking Exalted Plague Bearers. I had a building being built over here, yep, that should give me Exalted Plague Bearers, so we'll kind of mix those in. And what we'll have then is a very fast-moving, very deadly flank mixed with a slow-moving but very tanky center. So that's kind of my objective there, is to mix and match those for best effect. It does look like Patchy has replenished quite a bit. I don't have eyes on Null, and we're bad. I want to keep him moving. I think which movement point is that guy? It's actually quicker to move this way. I want to get eyes on Brunberg. Yeah, we got eye, and yeah, okay. So there is an army that could strike out against us with Balthazar. However, it's not a very good army. It's just a lot of state troops, and I don't think they're going to do well against what I have. So I do think that I'm going to go ahead and hit Brunberg here and knock it out while I have the opportunity. This will keep my bloodletting up high. There's decent loot to be had here. I'll go ahead and sack it, just because I'm not interested in this settlement, really. So I'll just sack it for now, take the loot, and then scoot back into my own territory and continue to replenish again. That just keeps our bloodletting up higher. And then that also is giving us time to get Appius back into the army. He's almost here. He had to make a long walk to get there, but we did get it done. Alright, sweet. So we got the recruiting stuff built. I can't quite get to Keeper of Secrets, which would be super fun. to roll up the flank, but we don't have it. Let's check out our other units here. I'm not really interested in the Sibilant Slaughtercade. Chariots are a lot of micro work, and this particular unit to me just never seems all that viable. However, as far as what I'm going to replace it with, I take a look at the recruiting options. We do have Forsaken. I don't want any more of the Slaneshi infantry, because we're using the Slaneshi infantry on the flank. All we've got access to is Hellstriders, so we really need to wait until we get access to, I think, Seekers over here, which is a few turns away. Unfortunately, it's 4 turns away, so still a little bit of time, but that's okay. We're not immediately threatened with anything here, so I think it's okay for us to kind of wait. Yeah, so let's finish up that little bit of recruitment there. Let's see, as far as the money goes, actually I'm just going to save money for a turn, and in this turn, replenish Patchy. Let's get a couple more of your comments here. Ionut says, I've been watching your content for a lot of years and it never disappoints. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Blanket Boa says, can't wait to see the Empire fall. First the Empire, then Kislev. I would say then Kislev, but Kislev is already gone. So Clan Mulder wiped them out. So unfortunately, we will not get to take any vengeance on Kislev in this campaign, which was very anticlimactic. But yes, the Empire will go. I'm kind of just giving you all, we gave you a little bit of Lewin killing this time. And then the Empire I will focus on once I get Appius back in the army. I was waiting for Appius to be there. Felt like he deserves the opportunity to jump in on that. Let's see here. Barbarians RS says, Patchy, at last my burning vengeance on Kislev will be... Oh, wait, what a load of dog dirt. That's right. So Patchy comes all the way down to Kislev, ready to get his vengeance on the motherland. And what does he find? That it's already a festering rat hole. Literally, because it's been destroyed by the Skaven. Speaking of Skaven, they've got a little army headed down here. Stay away from Appius, okay? Alright, so Appius is now back in the army with Patchy. They do have Gorich. Yeah, what the heck is Gorich doing down here? I think it's Gorich. No? No, it's just a chieftain. Okay. For a moment it looked like Gorich, but then I realized that, yeah, chieftain right on the back there. So, we've got Appius back in the army. It'd be fun to hit Wurtbad. We can go fight Gelt down here, which I think would be appropriate. So let's go take a shot at Gelt. And then Patchette here finished recruiting the Exalted Demonettes that we need in the army. And it's still 3 turns until that building is ready. My recruitment of the Nurgle infantry is going to take place down here. I want those Exalted Plague Bearers. They're a really pesky center because they have a ton of hit points. And then they also have the ranged weapon, which is brutally damaging for anything that comes close to it. So it should be a fun unit. And then in those 3 turns, it'll hopefully get the global recruitment ready, where I can bring in some Seekers and other units. I'm going to save the growth here because we're almost up another growth point here, and I should be able to expand this. Hopefully get to Heart Seekers eventually as well. So I'm going to save some cash again on this turn in. Looks like Arcust here is going to get a skill point. I'm going to throw that into Earthing because I don't like the miscast damage. And then again, I'm just going to say I'm going to save cash. I'll go ahead and put that building in there to earn us a little bit of cash. And then let's call it good here. Get to some more of your comments. Maddie says, yes, give me more Patchy wholesomeness at HeirofCarthage. Please name a unit of Nurgle Plague Bearers. The smelly dog fats. Know where that name came from, but I will try to do that for you. I already have the Regiment of Renown, so maybe we can go ahead and rename them for you so I don't forget on that one. Jonathan Cinnamon says, I've been enjoying your videos since Total War Rome 2. My 2-year-old is now starting to watch the rightful heir of Carthage. Can we possibly have an all-corn cavalry by any chance in the future? I'm probably not going to have an entire army of corn cavalry, but I did get a couple more units into my main army. And hopefully, I'd love to get these Warhounds that I have traded out for some more corn cavalry, because they'd be a little heavier. Don't get me wrong, the Warhounds are really quite good, especially having them upgraded as much as I do. Go ahead and just get that, because I think we're pretty much maxed out on almost all of our glories here. Let's see here. It looks like all the Nurgle demons are around. Let's go ahead and go besiege Balthazar. He's got a rather large garrison behind him at Nuln, including some dwarves. But I'm going to go ahead and siege them in. Build some machines here. Continue the siege. If they have reinforcements and they send it, that could get dicey, actually, right there. I may have just overextended us, but we'll see. Then Patchette, let's go ahead and continue her movement. Twisted Towers. Alright, so the Twisted Towers is where I want to do my recruiting.
With joy.
Is this technically in that territory? Yeah, so that's technically in that territory. So if I step up to here... Alright, so now we have stepped up towards Twisted Towers. We can begin the recruiting of Exalted Plague Bearers. So that will make our army considerably more disgusting.
Can they still please me?
So there we go, Exalted Plague Bearers. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, the Festering Stooges is such a cool name. I feel like I'll wait a turn and see if I can remember to name these guys the Smelly... was that supposed to be Smelly Dog Fats or Smelly Dog Farts, I'm thinking? I'm thinking Smelly Dog Farts. So I might have to adjust that for you, because I'm guessing that is probably your intended name for the Nurgle units. Where was that? No, it was Blackrock. Yeah, it's got a couple more turns actually till it levels up, so we can take some of this cash. Let's actually go over here to this eastern provinces where I most recently conquered, and make sure that we spend some time hardening them up a little bit against invasion, so that should help. We'll have some pretty solid garrisons there. There we go. Let's go ahead and end this one. See whether Balthazar comes out to attack Patchy. I'm kind of curious. I don't think he will, actually, which is honestly a mistake. Like, the AI needs to be able to figure these situations out, so like unless they have a couple of reinforcing armies nearby, they really ought to just come out and attack rather than letting their army rot, because when you rot behind the walls and you don't have any intention of bringing reinforcements, then you're literally just handing the enemy a victory, and it's utterly pointless. Looks like the Reichland attacked Kemperbad while we were gone, which is fine. It's no big deal. That settlement's just a ruse anyway. It's just there for us to replenish. Doesn't really provide me any other benefit that I'm keenly interested in. It also provides a target for the AI to reveal themselves. And reveal themselves they likely will. Alright, let's get some more comments here. Daniel Harvey says, the dreaded smoothbore musket of Hish. Yes, exactly. That Luminarch unfortunately put Appius in the dirt, but our fair Appius is back with us already. Of course, I did kind of speed that process up. What kind of engines do we have? We still got a lot of stuff in the construction queue. So I'm going to continue to siege Balthazar here. See, he should have attacked me. His army is now taking considerable losses, and it's making a grave mistake in doing this, so this is not a good move by Balthazar. Let's continue that siege. So see, the AI needs to be reprogrammed to be a little more aggressive in those scenarios. Cause lose you probably will if you sally out, but lose you definitely will if you sit still and wait on a sieging force to take care of you like that. So I think that is a big mistake. I'm going to get rid of these Brutes of the Hound because they are not really thematic for this army. I've now got 4 Exalted Plague Bearers for middle and 4 Exalted Demonettes for working on the flanks. As far as other units, we could probably throw... I mean, a Beast of Nurgle's a little bit squishy. Otherwise, that would be fun. I mean, this is going to be a pretty brutal center. It really needs some good tanking power in it, and honestly, if we mix that with some Chaos Spawn, that would really be ideal. Unfortunately, I don't have access to any Chaos Spawn here. Oh, I should have built this building, because then we got Spawn and Nurgle there as well. War Shrine. Let's go ahead and build that. So that'll give me access to a little bit more. Are we missing kind of buildings? So, oh, warriors with great weapons. Dang, man, that would be cool to put behind those. That'd be really infantry heavy, though. I could build it if I tore down a building and put that one in instead, which I don't really have the... We could tear down this one since we've done recruiting. I could build it in one of my smaller provinces. So like, for instance, we could tear this down here, put in the other building, and then kind of right-size this and ultimately get what we want. If I go into an encamp stance, I could go ahead and pull in like some Seekers. I don't know if the Seekers are ready yet. They are not, unfortunately. I'm still waiting on a building back here at Blackrock that's 1 turn away, so yeah, we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and just come garrison at the towers. But we're getting this army shaped up a lot better. Much better.
Doom is upon them.
Alright, yeah, Balthazar is gonna have some real trouble here. He's making a big mistake. Alright, let's end this one. Inductive Grunt says, Patchy, we're invading Kislev, and then we get to Kislev and it's full of Skaven. Okay, we're invading the Empire, gets the Empire overrun with greenskins. Seriously? What about the capital? Reichland has Karl Franz and an Empire army. Patchy says, wait, what? Oh, that's fine. We'll go kill them then. Edit, I hope Sigvald is going to die. Arcus needs to be avenged for being stolen and corrupted by Slaanesh. Khorne demands it. Well, I hope Sigvald gets it too. Thanks for watching Inductive Grunt. Hopefully, I mean, it's going to really be my fault if Reichland gets run down, but I don't think the Reichland's going to get hit while I'm kind of having fun for this episode. And then on the next episode, we'll swing in and take care of business. Wish the greenskins would help me take care of the Skaven infestations for now, because that would be helpful. Alan F., thanks for being such a long-time viewer. He says, heck yeah, Patchy's searching for some skulls. That's right. We are definitely searching for it. Then Eli says, Tertilius got his toilet all tremble before the majesty of his midnight soil throne. Oh man, I like the names. You all are great with the comments. Let's see. Speaking of, I need to rename one of these guys the Smelly Dog Farts. That seems like a good name. Let's see. We've got a ton of money finally, which is great. It's not something that we've had a lot of access to in this particular episode. And I'm still waiting on a couple of towers here, so I'm going to continue this siege. Balthazar made a big mess in his pants by not coming after us. Here's a couple of Empire armies, including steam tanks. That should be fun if we get to fight the Empire and go up against some steam tanks. I think we now have access to the Seekers. So we have one, we have the Eternal Entourage, we have a Barons of the Bog, which is kind of a cavalry unit, though it's a little bit slow, obviously. But that's fine. We're going to roll over here, and good, we finally got access to some units here. Let's put some Seekers in. They're not the best we can get. Heart Seekers would be best, but Seekers will do nicely for now. And so that'll kind of round off the cavalry, where I can have 2 cavalry rolling on each flank. We need to get rid of the Sibilant Slaughtercade, because I just don't really want to use that unit. We've still got these Marauder Spears, which I think I'm going to replace those with some heavy infantry as soon as that becomes available. And so the real question is, what do we want to drop in these last slots? And really, I think some Chaos Spawn would be the best. We're going to go ahead and build this one, which will give me access to those heavier infantry. And then out here, I can go ahead and put in... Oh, wait, that's a Khorne settlement. Oops, my bad.
Depravity reigns.
But that's not what I want, actually. We would need to put it at the Fetid Catacombs, which means I'm going to have to tear down that building, so I'll rebuild it here. So there we go. Yeah, now it should all work out just fine. And put a little extra growth here so we can speed up the growth process. Start maxing out the garrison here as well. Make the Twisted Towers a really difficult spot for an enemy to break through. That is a ton of Plague Bearers that they would have to work their way through, and would not be a pleasant chore for any army, especially not just based off of the smell. So yeah, let's go ahead and end one more turn. And then I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and probably end this episode here. It'll be a little bit short, but that'll leave us in a good position to get a battle not only against Balthazar, but then we can swing north, so we'll get a battle against Balthazar and against Altdorf in the next video. So I think this will leave us in good shape. Plus, at that point, Patchet's army ought to be completely ready to go against the Druki. Now, we will have a pretty unshielded army going up against the Druki, which is always a little bit risky, but I think we'll be able to pull it off because we'll have plenty of speed and then tankiness from all those Nurgle units, and then we'll throw some spawn in there too because, again, they're unbreakable, and it's going to add a lot of tankiness to the middle of that army. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed it. I will see you all soon with some more action. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now.